Welcome to Rican Muslim, your host, Rican Muslim. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. So this is something that I just don't even have an ad. Like, what? I mean, it's so real, but it's just you just have to watch it to really comprehend, and just it baffles me to all ends. But yeah, just watch it and see what I mean.
In the shadows of the explicit content industry, there's a growing story, one that links pro-Israeli political agenda with some of the most influential figures in adult entertainment. The connections between explicit content, Zionism, and the manipulation of global power are far from simple. But what happens when profit and politics intersect? Pornhub, the world's largest adult website.
Right here, Israeli election ads said to appear on. I mean, why would anybody want that? Especially one who they say they're God's chosen people. Why would you want to put those ads there?
Website is under the spotlight not only because of its controversial business practices, but also due to its unexpected ties to Israel. But the issue isn't limited.
Right here, a rabbi is overseeing. Yes, you read it, and that's actually not so weird. And Freeman is trying to improve ethics. Now, hear me out. If you really want to improve the ethics of it, you close it down. Why would anyone who is a so-called follower of the Most High, he's a rabbi and chosen people, why would even want to, quote, improve the ethics of this thing? If you want to improve it, you close it down and burn it to the ground.
To just one website. Zionist influence stretches across the entire adult entertainment industry. Not so explicit sway in a very explicit industry. A significant portion of the explicit content industry has been shaped by members of the US Jewish community, Israeli citizens, and Zionist entrepreneurs. From Ron Jeremy, the notorious star of the adult entertainment world, and Stephen Hirsch, the CEO of Vivid Entertainment, to Ruben Sturman, co-founder of sex toy company Doc Johnson and often referred to as the Walt Disney of porn. Enter Alo Holding, formerly MindGeek, the corporation behind Pornhub, YouPorn, and Brazzers. Despite facing multiple legal investigations, allegations of sex trafficking, and accusation of abuse, Alo continues to thrive. Why? Zionism is more than just a political movement. It has become a global network of power influencing everything from state media outlets to corporate boardrooms. Zionists are deliberately infiltrating and corrupting the minds of followers of other religions, using industries like adult entertainment to smear cultures and societies it wishes to punish, subvert, or vilify.
Have they lost everything, the whole plot? Because reading the Tanakh, it's all about God being all powerful and he does what he wishes, and as simple as a prayer from a truly honest man is enough to really reshape the entire universe. So why any of this? Like it's icky. It's like what happened? I mean, as a Muslim, I know what happens. It's in the Quran. They just start rewriting their own thing. But I mean, you think people would be like, "Yo, no. Obviously, we've lost the plot, so something's wrong." But no, they still follow along like it's normal. Can you imagine if a church decided to open up their own? You know what? People want to burn it to the ground. Well, I don't know about that anymore, but I know if if any mosque out there decided to start something like this on it, Muslims will literally burn it to the ground. They will burn it to the ground.
The explicit content sector, often seen as a shadowy business that's taboo, is part of the global Zionist strategy, with companies like Pornhub aligning themselves with Israeli political interests. Then there's Leonid Rudvinsky, the billionaire behind OnlyFans, the platform that has empowered explicit content creators. Despite the platform's image as a space for independent creators, Rudvinsky has significantly funded pro-Israeli causes, donating $11 million to AIPAC. But this isn't just philanthropy. This is political backing.
You know what's more icky about it is that it runs as a pyramid scheme. So it turns their creators, they're just prostitutes, but it turns them into pimps because it's all about getting them to get other girls to join the platform as well, and then they get like a share profit of that. You know, like the whole pyramid scheme. Yeah. So it's all about turning them into pimps, so they can get girls to do this vile things. And I don't care about money. I'm like, if somebody, anybody would be like, no, player, I don't want your money. I want you to take it and go to hell. Like, what? It's like, oh yeah, please give me your money. It's like, no, like, if you're supposed to represent chosen people of God, I will be like, no, don't player. Take your money and go somewhere else. I want you to be at least 100 miles from me. At least.
At the heart of Pornhub's efforts to clean up its image is Solomon Friedman, a man with both a criminal defense lawyer background and a strong Jewish identity. Friedman, who also happens to be an ordained rabbi, was brought in to oversee Pornhub's compliance as an owning partner. His appointment raises further questions. Was he selected to protect the victims of trafficking, or was he appointed to align the company's interests with large Zionist political agenda?
I would just be like, no, since I'm an ordained rabbi and I believe in God and I believe in his wrath, and no, I will take your appointment and take this, job offer and stick it as far up your butthole as much as you can, and then try some more. I don't want anything to do with you. Why? And here it is. Judaism is pretty sex positive. Most Jewish texts about sex focus on understanding and regulating the act, not warning people of its dangers. The Talmud has passages instructing husbands to have, with their wives, sure, emphasizing the importance of pleasure and encouraging experimentation. With their wives, though, that's even a tale of a student hiding under the rabbi's bed when his teacher with his wife. When the students caught, he argues that everything is Torah and he was trying to, oh my God. What? That's when you take the student and be like, I need you to stand outside real quick. You gather a whole bunch of stones and you go to town. That's it. That's what it should have been. What? Like, what? I know the Talmud has some, stuff, but what? Oh, everything is Torah, so I went in town on my meat. What? And you wonder why the Quran says what it says. You wonder why I don't subscribe to anything that's Judeo or Christian. I want it as far away as possible. And Christians still argue about this.
Is it a coincidence that the name of his law firm is Ethical Capital Partners? The Zionist community is no stranger to scandals of its own. Shockingly or not, over the years, several rabbis tied to prominent Jewish organizations have been arrested for pedophilia and child abuse. Figures such as Rabbi Baruch Lanner and Rabbi Mordechai Gafni have faced multiple accusations of sexual misconduct. And while some of these men have been convicted, others like Michael Pratt, co-founder of Girls Do Porn Company, tied to trafficking charges, are known to be Zionist sympathizers. Michael Pratt's direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein has further entrenched his...
That is the most icky of it all. Huge melting pot, Like nobody knows where all those files are at. He's dead. I mean, you could put the puzzle pieces together. Files are still somewhere. Pretty damning. Make people do a lot of things. Allah save us, Allah save us, Allah save us, Allah save us. Feel like taking a shower after this and doing wudu.
Ties to powerful figures within the Zionist network. We will just call this explicit diplomacy. We cannot ignore Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Zionism either. Epstein, who is believed to have used his influence and wealth to support Israel's agenda, donated millions to Israeli causes, and met with former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak on multiple occasions. Even more disturbing, many US citizens with Jewish backgrounds who have been convicted for heinous crimes including pedophilia have procured Israeli passports and fled the US to the so-called Jewish state to avoid prosecution. Upon arriving in Israel or occupied Palestine as settlers, they are warmly received by the Israeli state. Everywhere else in the world, they're seen as dangerous psychopaths, but in Israel, they're just settlers with very explicit baggage. Groups like Exodus Cry have been calling for Pornhub's closure, accusing the site of facilitating sex trafficking and profiting from non-consensual content. Despite the mounting pressure and public outcry, Pornhub's owners continue to funnel profits into pro-Israeli causes. And then there's a contradiction. Pornhub Cares, the company's charitable arm, claims to support causes like feminism, cancer prevention, and women's empowerment.
Why haven't all this been shut down? Christian country. What? Just shut it down. Are Christians just love it so much? Like, wow, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
They've donated to causes that seem noble on the surface, but the truth is much darker. While the company profits from the exploitation of women, it hides behind these charity campaigns to whitewash its image, pretending to promote the idea of feminist empowerment while actively degrading women with its content. Explicit hypocrisy. The rise of explicit content is tied to Zionist interests more than many realize. What's happening behind the closed doors of Pornhub, OnlyFans, and other platforms is more than just exploitation. It's about the larger Zionist agenda. But listen, it's all an anti-Semitic conspiracy, right? As Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, an influential and former chief rabbi of Israel, once said, it's permissible for Jews to corrupt the nations of the world through immoral content. Jews opposing Zionism and Zionists have a message for you. Explicit content against the explicit truth by explicit Zionists for explicit agendas after explicit cash. In the shadows of the explicit content industry,
It's just baffled. Just baffled. Christians, wake up. I mean, Christians, wake up. Wake up. Like, what more do you... Wake up. Seriously. This is why not only am I happy embracing Islam, but I will never leave Islam. Because the choices... I mean, what more proof do you want? Let me know what your thoughts below. Comments, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Yeah, and yeah, share this to somebody you think might need to see this. Maybe your Christian friends. Maybe they'll wake up from their deep slumber and stop worshiping Trump and, you know, or at least pray or something. I don't know. I'll see you next time.